Dr. Joshua Morris, Associate Professor of Chemistry and Biochemistry, bears the GGC Mace and leads the faculty processional. In today's ceremony, Dr. Morris represents the full complement of GGC faculty.
The processional of GGC faculty will follow the GGC Mace. These faculty members represent the academic ranks of full professor, associate professor, assistant professor, lecturer, or instructor.
The distinct regalia worn by the faculty reflect traditional colors of their academic disciplines, as well as the colors of the various institutions where they received their academic degrees. We invite you to learn more about the symbolism and significance of the GGC Mace, seal, and standards representing our 4 pillars, as well as traditions of academic dress and details regarding faculty regalia by referring to page 10 in today's commencement program.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated as the Fall 2021 graduating class of Georgia Gwinnett College enters the Arena Bowl. To ensure an unobstructed view for all in attendance, We encourage you to cheer for the graduating class from your seats.
procession of the platform party and distinguished guests, which includes the President of Georgia Gwinnett College, Dr. Jan L. Joseph, Senior Leadership of the College, Academic Deans, our student speaker, Miss Morgan George, and our guest speaker, the Honorable Veronica Cope, Gwinnett County State Court Judge.
The platform party also is comprised of representatives from the University System of Georgia Board of Regents, the GGC Board of Trustees, the GGC Foundation, the Faculty Senate, the Division of Student Affairs, and the GGC Student Government Association. Additional representatives from the Office of Enrollment Management Services make up the final members of this distinguished group.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the presentation of the colors by student cadets from the joint Georgia Gwinnett College and University of Georgia U.S. Army Reserve Officer Training Command. As the colors are presented, please remain standing and in silence until the conclusion of the singing of our national anthem. The national anthem will be performed by our students, Janae Gray and Rose Seaton, under the direction of Dr. Mark Gilly, Associate Professor of Music.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was
Thank you, Janae and Rose, for that wonderful rendition of the U.S. National Anthem. Please remain standing and in silence while the color guard exits. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Now it is my pleasure to introduce the president of Georgia Gwinnett College, Dr. Jan L. Joseph.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Georgia Gwinnett College's commencement exercises for fall 2021. I am Dr. Jan Joseph and the president of GGC. And this morning I could feel so much energy in this stadium. It is so good to be here because we are all so very happy this morning to gather to celebrate one of the most exciting days in the lives of our students. And we are all so very proud of you. At this time, please join me in acknowledging our distinguished guests, and I ask that they stand as their names are called and remain standing. I also ask the audience to hold your applause until they're all recognized. The Honorable Victoria Jones, Councilwoman and Mayor Pro Tem of Lawrenceville. The Honorable Greg Kennard, Georgia State Representative. The Honorable Rebecca Mitchell, Georgia State Representative. Judge Veronica Cope, Superior Court Judge for Gwinnett County, and you will hear from her later. Mr. Jose Perez, member of the University of Georgia Board of Regents. Dr. Carlton Buchanan, chairman of the GGC Foundation Board of Trustees. Members of our GGC Foundation Board of Trustees. Members of our School of Business Board of Visitors. Mr. Tom Willard, Vice President of the GGC Alumni Board. Ms. Naya Patel, Student Government Association President. And finally, our speaker, the student speaker this morning, Ms. Morgan George. We appreciate all of your ongoing support of GGC and our students. And this morning, we certainly appreciate your generosity and commitment to the GGC family. Thank you for sharing your time with us today. I now extend warm greetings to our fall 2021 graduates, and of course, all of you, their proud families and friends who are sharing this moment with them this morning. I want to thank each of you for entrusting your students over the years to be with us as they work to complete their bachelor's degree or certificate. And your student would not be sitting in this arena today and ready to accept their hard-earned degree without the tireless service of our talented and caring faculty, staff, and leadership team. Would our faculty, staff, and cabinet please stand to be recognized? I have the utmost respect for your dedication and your merit. Your presence here is a reminder that students are everything we do. The engagement of our students is our hallmark. You are standing here affirming that you have a purpose at GGC. You are celebrating with your students and recommitting to fulfill the calling that each of you have to serve. Each day, you help your students build confidence and grow. You challenge them to think critically. You help them find their voice and guide them to lead purposeful lives. Your service shaped lives. It champions dreams. Indeed, I remind you that your commitment changes the trajectory for entire families and for our community and beyond. So on behalf of all the family and friends gathered here today, I offer to you, my faculty, my staff, all of us who serve here, I offer to you all my sincere thanks for everything you do. It is a pleasure to serve alongside you all. Again, thank you sincerely. Today, we will graduate more than 600 students. And what is unique about today's graduates is that they, just as graduates from the previous two commencements, have gone through something significant. They have been impacted by a pandemic. And I know for all of you, the transition was challenging, and many of the uncertainties warranted concern, and indeed, some of you may have been anxious. But you are about to take the most important step and walk across the stage in recognition of a major accomplishment. Because during this time, each of you stepped up and adapted. And now you know how resilient you really are. We are all proud of our students because you remained strong and you worked hard to navigate uncharted waters in higher education. But let me tell you about a couple of these students. Because Benjamin Rodriguez, and please stand, Benjamin, he graduates today with a bachelor's in business administration, with a concentration in management information systems and a minor in information technology. He completed his degree while holding down 3 jobs, including a full-time job at a global IT services company and 2 part-time jobs. Including working at the Aquatic Center and our GGC Wellness and Recreation Center on campus, and I saw him there often. Another of today's graduates is Gretza Nabia, and she's no stranger to hard work and persistence, because Gretza grew up in the Philippines and moved to the United States just 5 years ago. Upon arriving at GGC, the first phrase she saw on our campus was, "Go, be great." And she did just that. Gretza became involved in Women in Technology, which empowers young women to pursue technology degrees and careers. She began an organization to raise awareness of the environmental sustainability and also co-authored a paper which was published in a peer-reviewed journal, the Holy Grail of Higher Ed. She graduates today with a Bachelor's of Science in Information Technology with a concentration in software development. Both Benjamin and Gretza presented at a recent USG Board of Regents meeting where they talked about their time at GGC and GGC's impact on their lives. They made a really good impression for us. And we are so very proud of both of you and all of our graduates today, because these young people are among the best of the best. Because, like many of you, you have experienced what many students have not. As I said before, that amazing pandemic we're still suffering. And you have been given an invaluable gift, because most people don't learn about navigating serious upheaval and crisis in their life this early. And sometimes the life skill that you need the most is the most difficult to come by, because that skill is managing change. Because now I know for sure that you, as our students, you are equipped not just academically, but you are equipped mentally. You are stronger and wiser, and now you have more clarity about your purpose. So I ask of you, my dear students, to take every opportunity that you have been given and you would continue to have, to use the lessons you have learned and to go do great things for yourself, for your families, and your community. Please always remember to serve your community, because we learn serious lessons about the importance of community. We learned lessons recently about giving and sharing and taking care of each other. The past 2 years, we have learned some of those tough lessons. So I would tell you as I close in my address to the students, that each of you now have everything it takes to become and stay a strong Grizzly. Now I want to introduce to you one of your classmates, who is your speaker today, Morgan George. And before she comes to the podium, let me tell you a little bit about her. We're extremely proud of this young lady, because Morgan George is originally from Carthage, Missouri, and moved to Georgia as a teenager. She served in the U.S. Army as a veterinary technician that helped to take care of Army drug and bomb-sniffing dogs. Her tours included places like Afghanistan, Japan, and Hawaii. And after leaving the Army, she decided to pursue a college education here at GGC, and she excelled. Today, Morgan is graduating with honors, earning a bachelor's degree in environmental science with a concentration in natural science focused on ecology. I am so excited for you to hear her story. So please join me in welcoming to the podium Morgan George.
Thank you, President Joseph, and welcome to our distinguished guests, faculty, staff, families, friends, and of course, fall class of 2021! Yeah! My apologies. I didn't practice that with a hat on. My name is Morgan George, and as someone who dropped out of high school in 10th grade, I never thought I would see this day. I mean, when you drop out of high school, you don't exactly have expectations for college. But after leaving high school, I joined the United States Army for just over 8 years. But after having my daughter, Danny Lee, I decided the military life was no longer for us. I was dumped into what we know as the civilian world. I was able to get a decent job in research as a veterinary technician, but it offered no upward mobility because of my lack of education. It was then I decided I wanted to pursue a bachelor's degree, and I knew I wanted to be involved in research. But the research I wanted to be a part of, I had no experience in. Me and my daughter joked saying, I just wanted to save the world. It came to find out that this was actually called environmental science. And it's through this discipline that I wanted to be a part of making our world just a little better. This is when I decided to undertake the journey at GGC. I toured the GGC campus before applying, and the main questions I had were all about non-traditional students, since I was one. On that first tour, every faculty member I met assured me that GGC is very accepting of non-traditional students, not only getting into the college, but scheduling classes that would fit our needs. The freshman orientation only solidified that fact. One thing that the GGC's past president said during that time, he said, it doesn't make a difference if you go to college. A lot of people go to college. It makes a difference if you succeed, finish, and graduate from college. With him saying that, I knew I didn't want to just go to college. I wanted to succeed and graduate from college, for me, for my daughter, and for our futures. So that was the beginning of my journey. I was doing evening classes full-time, I was being a single mom full-time, and working that 40-hour work week full-time. At the end of that freshman semester, though, I knew something had to give, even though I made the president's list. I was only seeing my daughter on average 45 minutes a day, which to me is unacceptable. But I believed I could do this college thing. I wanted to prove to myself and to my daughter that I could do this. So I quit my job. Now, quitting your job isn't something I would recommend for everybody, but for me, I had that veteran status, so I was able to use that GI Bill for financial support, which I am so grateful for. But I wanted to solely focus on being a student, being a great mother and a great role model to my daughter. Quitting my job allowed me to fully immerse myself in school. I was actually able to take advantage of the AEC, which is the only way I made it through calculus. I was able to serve as the vice president of the biology club. I actually was able to take part in peer supplemental instruction groups, which again, if that wasn't how I did it, I don't know how I would have got through chemistry. I was also able to take on 2 separate National Science Foundation funded research experience for undergraduates during my summer semesters here. which is a long and fancy way of saying I got 2 awesome summer internships. One was out of marine biology, out of Savannah State University and Skidaway Institute of Oceanography. The other was out of UGA's microbiology department. And for someone with my majors, this was amazing opportunities. I was also able to meet with faculty and staff at ice cream socials and other events to understand all the options that were out there for me and what I could be capable of. I can't tell you how much I appreciated their advice and encouragement. In fact, the mentors I have found here at GGC have led me down amazing paths. Not one faculty member instilled doubt or discouragement. They told me which classes to take, which not to take, and more importantly, how to survive and find a job after college life. I know many of you feel the same way. We are truly fortunate to have faculty who really care about us and take such an active part in helping us succeed. Class of 2021, please join me with a round of applause thanking our faculty. But we all know there's another group we need to thank. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it seemed the only one I could do this, or who doubted I could do this, was me. I was lucky to have the unwavering support from my daughter and my parents through this journey. I will always be grateful to you, Mom and Dad, and to you, Danny Lee. I love you guys. Class of 2021, your families and friends were behind you in your educational journeys too. Whether they are here in the arena or watching us from home, I invite you to thank them now. Thank you. The journeys we have gone here at GGC have not been easy by any means. It seemed every semester was filled with its own turmoil, even before the COVID shutdown, which I know for everyone was hard. But for me and my daughter, both having to go to classes with only one laptop made it a little tougher for us. But even through that, we made it work, and so did you guys. I was determined I would do this, and now, finally, I have. We all have. And because of our experiences here at GGC, I have been able to obtain a UGA position in a PATH lab with hopes of entering a graduate program there in the near future. Me, the girl who dropped out of high school at 16 and became a single mother at 22 and graduating from college. Everyone here today has a story, and you should be extremely proud that you guys have come this far and that we did it. Through all those troubles, all those online classes. Look, y'all, we made it! We actually made it! I am proud of every single one of you. Now, let's go do something great.
Thank you, Morgan. Isn't she amazing? And she's just one of our amazing group of students. And your message to us, Morgan, was exceptional and, of course, inspirational. Many of you all would have been reading up and following leading to today's commencement some of the feature stories of your classmates who represent this class this year. Because GGC is just 16 and a half years old, and being 16 and a half, we still celebrate and honor our first. Soon we'll be presenting the GGC's first recipient of the Business Intelligence Certificate to Sarah Crow. Because as a campus, we have been aggressively expanding our majors and concentrations. And this particular certificate, Business Intelligence, is part of the additions. It is a new certificate that prepares students for jobs that involve analyzing and interpreting data for the purpose of optimizing performance and supporting decision-making in organizations. And we all know the word supply chain management now. So this is the type of job we are preparing students for. So again, congratulations, Sarah, as one of our first. You are now part of our history. I am now delighted to welcome our keynote speaker for today's ceremony. Judge Veronica Cope is from Tarboro, North Carolina, and a graduate of UNC Chapel Hill. And at that institution, she earned her bachelor's degree in political science and African and Afro-American studies, as well as her law degree. For almost 20 years, she practiced law in Gwinnett and the greater Atlanta area, often providing services pro bono or reduced fee basis to ensure that citizens had access to justice. Her work included civil and criminal matters across a broad range of areas, and she was elected to the Gwinnett County State Court bench in 2020. Judge Cope's record of community service is exemplary. She's a charter member of the Gwinnett section of the National Council of Negro Women and a graduate of Leadership Gwinnett, Glance Gwinnett, and the Young Lawyers Division of the State Bar of Georgia's Leadership Academy. She's the immediate past president of the Georgia Association of Women Lawyers, as well as a past president of its foundation, which provides support for women and children in the legal system and young women interested in working in the public interest sector. Please join me in giving a warm GGC family welcome to Judge Veronica Cope.
Thank you for that amazing introduction. I am Judge Veronica Cope of the Gwinnett County State Court, and it is my privilege and my honor to serve as your keynote speaker today. President Dr. Joseph, Senior Vice President for Academic and Student Affairs and Provost, Dr. George Lowe, faculty, and the rest of the amazing administration at Georgia Gwinnett College, distinguished guests, friends, family members, and graduates, I am grateful for the opportunity to share in this joyous occasion with all of you. Wow, you did it. Georgia Gwinnett College Fall 2021 graduates, you did it. I want you to give yourselves a hand. I know you just did, but you earned it. Give yourselves another hand. And now, I want you to stand up and give your family and friends who have been there to support you along the way a roaring round of applause. You see, yes, you earned it. You earned it. You see, your family and supporters share a piece of that diploma that you're going to get a little bit later today, as I'm sure not many of you have accomplished this amazing major feat alone. I admonish you that you will continue to lean on your family and friends along your careers as you move toward the greatness that is inside each and every one of you. Grizzlies, you are hustle personified. You are perseverance personified. Over the last few years, you have overcome tremendous obstacles and roadblocks along your journey to receive the coveted bachelor's degree. You have persevered and continue to persevere through the worst pandemic anyone alive has ever seen. Every single person in this arena has been affected by the COVID-19 virus in some manner in the last 20 months. From mandatory stay-at-home orders to quarantining, to being diagnosed with COVID, to struggling with whether or not to take the vaccine, to losing loved ones to this horrible virus, as I have. Some of you have had to take classes online, alone, in your homes or dorm rooms, and have missed in-person peer interaction and in-person office hours over the last year and a half, both of which are such critical components in receiving a quality education. While pursuing your education, many of you have overcome housing and food insecurities, not knowing how you would pay for your tuition, and for some of you, not knowing how you would pay for your next meal. You have persevered through not only a global pandemic, but through social and civil unrest and their effects, which have reverberated throughout our nation and right here at home. Like your awesome president, Dr. Joseph, and I, over half of you are first-generation college students. Now, first-generation college graduates. Some of you have worked to put yourself through school. Over a third of you are part-time students who work to care for your children and your families. Some of you came to college immediately after high school, and some of you, like my big sister who graduated just a few weeks ago with her bachelor's degree at the tender age of 53, have been out of high school for decades and are seeking to enhance your careers in both your personal and your professional lives. You are a diverse group in every sense of the word. As many of you know, GGC is the most ethically diverse Southern regional college, whether public or private. But you're also diverse in background and geographic location. You represent countries from around the globe, over the half the US states, and the overwhelming majority of you from right here in Gwinnett County, one of the most diverse counties in the Southeast. You also represent diversity of thought. You have earned bachelor's degrees ranging from biology to history to criminal justice. You are athletes and gamers and full-time moms and dads with full-time jobs. The number one thing that you have in common is that you will now all be Grizzly graduates. I won't be here in front of you too long today, but I came by to encourage you as you continue along your journey of this thing called life. I want to share a story of perseverance and persistence about a little girl that I knew growing up in Tarboro, North Carolina, about the size of this arena. This little girl grew up on the wrong side of the tracks in our little segregated town of about 11,000 people. Her mother a seamstress and her father a truck driver. She was raised from very humble means. She grew up in poverty in the projects of our little town, and as a little girl, she could literally look out on the yards from her home and see drug dealers selling crack cocaine on a daily basis. Before she would graduate high school, she saw firsthand the crippling effects of drug addiction in her own home. Although this little girl was a straight-A student in middle school, she became a mother before she was a teenager, a product of her environment. Think about that. Before prom, before Friday night basketball and football games, she became a mother. She continued to attend school and take care of her son with the support of her parents, a few phenomenal teachers, and a few members of the community. She persevered. At an early age, this little girl saw the value of education. She saw that many times the difference in the way people lived their lives was whether or not they had a college education. She later learned that education was the great equalizer for many. Although her father only had a 9th grade education and her mother a high school education, she realized that education might actually be her way out of poverty and to a better life for her and her son. But she knew that her path forward would not be paved with gold. She worked at the local Piggly Wiggly grocery store part-time, all while maintaining a near-perfect GPA, playing sports, and caring for her son, all with the support of her parents. She aspired to go to college, but she knew her parents couldn't afford to send her, so she buckled down in the classroom as a student athlete and graduated from high school, 4th in her class, with full academic and athletic scholarships to over 30 colleges. As a lifelong Tar Heel fan, She accepted a full academic scholarship to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, where she ultimately obtained her Bachelor's of Arts degrees in political science and African American studies. Through hard work, she graduated from UNC Phi Beta Kappa in the top 5% of her class, and then from UNC's law school. She persevered. Ultimately, she graduated from law school and went to work in a large firm in Atlanta, practiced for nearly 20 years, and even served as an NFL agent, one of only 30 female agents of the 800 agents at that time in the country. And today, against all odds, she stands before you as a Gwinnett County State Court judge. If you haven't figured it out by now, that little girl is me. Now, I share this story of perseverance not to boast or brag, but to inspire you and to encourage you to never give up. In the words of the late Jimmy Valvano, never ever give up. I want you to realize the power of perseverance. And I want to remind you that nothing is impossible, no matter where you're from, no matter your pedigree, and no matter what life may throw at you, even if no one's ever done it before. That little girl was only the second person of color to sit on the Gwinnett State Court in its 50-year history. But that didn't stop her from pursuing her dreams. You will face challenges in life, and sometimes life will throw you a curveball. It will knock you down flat on your backs. And when it does, get up, brush yourself off, and keep running. You already have more than enough. You have all the tools right now that you will ever need to be successful. And when you reach your goals, you have the responsibility to reach back and give back to your communities wherever your paths may lead you. I often say, if you want me to do something, just tell me I can't do it. That serves as my motivation. Like many of you, some doubted that I would finish high school, yet alone finish college or law school. You have accomplished what less than 40% of all adults will ever accomplish in their lifetimes by obtaining a bachelor's degree. So hold your heads up high, lift your heads with pride. You have reason to be proud. Whether this is the last tassel you would turn or a precursor to many more, you have persevered through adversity with great sacrifices, fortitude, and determination. You're doing everything some said you couldn't do. Today, we celebrate you. Now, I want to leave you with quotes from a famous doctor of whom some of you are familiar. And I quote, "You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You will come to a place where the streets are not marked. Some windows are lighted, but mostly they're dark. You'll pass the whole game, and soon you'll take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be the best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest, except when you don't, because sometimes you won't. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98 3/4% Guaranteed. You'll move mountains. So, today is your day, Grizzlies. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Dr. Seuss, oh, the places you will go. Grizzlies, go forward with resolve and determination. It won't be easy, but never give up on yourself and never give up on your dreams. And oh, the places you'll go. Again, congratulations. Thank you, Grizzlies.
Good morning. My name is Naya Patel, and I'm acting president of the GGC Student Government Association. Judge Pope, on behalf of the students of Georgia Gwinnett College, I would like to thank you for being here today to share your wisdom with the fall class of 2021. In appreciation of the positive impact your words will have on each of us for years to come, it is my honor to present this gift to you both on behalf of both the GGC student body and the 2021 graduating class. Thank you again for being here today.
Thank you, Naya, for that presentation and for exhibiting that pillar of leadership that we at GGC so proud of and we greatly honor. Judge Cope, you have certainly laid the foundation for our graduates, and I cannot thank you enough for accepting our invitation to share your professional and personal experiences with us. We would always be grateful for your inspiration and your dedication to your craft and our community. We have a saying at GGC, go be great. And you, Judge Cope, have exemplified that to our graduates today. Again, thank you very much. Graduates, you're just moments away from joining a remarkable network of Georgia Gwinnett College alumni from around the world. Here to greet you is Tom Willard, Vice President of GGC's Alumni Association. Tom graduated in 2011 with a bachelor's degree in administration with a concentration in finance. And since then, he has been an active member of the Alumni Association and a powerful advocate for GGC. It is my privilege to welcome Tom to the podium. Tom?
Thank you, President Joseph, distinguished guests, faculty and staff, friends and family, and the Georgia Gwinnett College class of 2021. On behalf of the Alumni Association, congratulations on your graduation. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to our Alumni Association. It is my honor to stand before you today and share in this special graduation ceremony with you, our future leaders, as you wrap up this period in your life and begin your next chapter in your journey. I'm reminded of one of my most favorite quotes from Dr. Seuss. Today you're you, that's truer than true. There's no one alive who's youer than you. I look back on my journey with Georgia Gwinnett and I share that I believe GGC has always empowered me to be the best me that I can be, by bestowing with me the knowledge and skills that have led me to be a world traveler, run projects around the world, and by always inspiring me to share my talents and giving back and helping make others' lives better. Our future is something we create, and GGC gives you the foundation to take that forward. Today you join the ranks of business leaders, company owners, teachers, nurses, and a whole host of many other careers. When we look at the world we live in today, it's not easy to find a good investment that lasts a lifetime. However, you've made the best decision today to invest in you, and the degree that you take with you today will stay with you throughout your life. It is one of the best human capital investments you will ever make. It will pay lasting dividends to you and to the world. And as Dr. Seuss also said, congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. And when things start to happen, don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along and you'll start happening too. Oh, the places you will go. As you maneuver your way through life's twists and turns, you will be faced with challenges, choices, sorrows, and joys. But no matter where life takes you, whether you be a project manager like me, a teacher, a nurse, a doctor, a professor, a lawyer, social worker, or something else, one constant will be, you will always be a part of the Grizzly family and the Alumni Association for life. Let me leave you with these words of wisdom. No matter what, always be you. And always seek to be the rainbow in someone else's cloud. On behalf of the Georgia Gwinnett College Alumni Association, congratulations, class of 2021. I hope to meet, I wish you all the best in your graduation, and I hope to meet many of you at future alumni events. Go be you, Grizzlies.
Thank you, Tom. We are so appreciative of your leadership. And thanks again for taking the time out of your day to share this day with us. I would say, though, I have no quotes from Dr. Seuss, so the rest of the time is just the more formal, fun stuff. But with the addition of this fall class of 2021, we would now have more than 10,000 alumni. It made it sound like a lot, but we are barely 16 and a half. And we are anxiously awaiting hearing from each of you in the years to come. And we're almost into that place. So at this time, we will proceed with the conferral of degrees. And I now call on the Senior Vice President for Academic and Student Affairs and our Provost, Dr. George Lowe. And he is here to acknowledge those candidates who would graduate with honors and to introduce the deans who will present the 2021 fall candidates for graduation. Dr. Lowe.
Thank you, President Joseph. In a moment, the deans of the schools of business, education, health sciences, liberal arts, and the School of Science and Technology in corresponding order will present the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees of Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Science in Education, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Bachelor of Arts, and Bachelor of Science. First, we will recognize those candidates who are graduating with academic honors. GGC academic honors are annotated at the bottom of the graduate pages of your program. These honors will also be announced as the graduates with honors names are called. Those graduates with the honors designation of summa cum laude have earned a grade point average above 3.875. Magna cum laude reflects those graduates who earned a grade point average above a 3.75, and those students graduating cum laude have earned a grade point average above a 3.5. With those students graduating with special academic honors, please rise and be recognized. Thank you. Please be seated. At this time, I ask the deans to come forward to present the fall 2021 candidates and their applicable degrees. Dr. Tyler Yu, Dean of the School of Business, Dr. Bernard Oliver, Dean of the School of Education, Dr. Diane White, Dean of the School of Health Sciences, Dr. Teresa Winterhalter, Dean of the School of Liberal Arts, and Dr. Shavonda Mills, Dean of the School of Science and Technology.
President Joseph, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Business, it is my privilege to present the candidates who have completed the prescribed course of study for the baccalaureate degree in business administration. These degree candidates, by character and achievement as judged by our faculty, have proven themselves worthy. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Business Administration and the faculty of the School of Business please rise? Please be seated.
Good morning. President Joseph, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Education, it is my privilege to present the candidates who have completed the prescribed course of study for the Bachelor of Science in Education. These degree candidates, by character and achievement as judged by the faculty, have proven themselves worthy. Will the degree candidates with majors in elementary education, special education, and the faculty of the School of Education please rise? There's some out there, I know. Yeah, making the world a better place. Please be seated.
President Joseph, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Health Sciences, it is my privilege to present the candidates who have completed the prescribed course of study, the Bachelor of Science in Nursing. These degree candidates, by character and achievement as judged by the faculty, have proven themselves worthy. Will degree candidates with a major in nursing and the faculty in the School of Health Sciences please rise? Please be seated.
President Joseph, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Liberal Arts, it is my privilege to present the candidates who have completed the prescribed course of study for the baccalaureate degree of science and the baccalaureate degree of arts. These degree candidates, by character and achievement as judged by the faculty, have proven themselves worthy. Will the degree candidates with the majors in English, stand up, thank you, history, political science, pages are stuck, criminal justice, human development and aging services, psychology, and cinema and media arts production, as well as the faculty of the School of Liberal Arts, please rise. Please be seated.
President Joseph, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Science and Technology, it is my privilege to present the candidates who have completed the prescribed course of study for the baccalaureate degree of science. These degree candidates, by character and achievement as judged by the faculty, have proven themselves worthy. Will the degree candidates with majors in biology, chemistry, environmental science, exercise science, information technology, and mathematics in the faculty of the School of Science and Technology, please rise. Please be seated.
Now will the fall 2021 candidates for graduation, the faculty and the deans, please rise. That's everybody out there. My favorite moment of the year. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, and pending final approval of the Georgia Gwinnett College faculty and certification by the GGC Registrar, I hereby confer upon you the baccalaureate degrees as designated and recorded in today's commencement program. These degrees are conferred with all the rights and privileges, and of course the responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Graduates, you may now transfer your tassel from the right to the left, signifying your official graduation from GGC. Woo! Congratulations again, and please be seated one more time. At this time, we are going to call our graduates forward. And each of you, please get yourself ready for your big walk and follow the announcement of the announcers and the ushers. So please get ready to come forward.
Will the graduates with the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration from the School of Business please come forward as your name is called to be greeted by Dean Tyler Yu.
Megan Ann Morris. Sladiana Misik. Zara Aslam, cum laude. Yesenia Corona Morales, cum laude. Beatrice Christine Ratu. Monica Laredo Gutierrez. Crystal Ann Morales. Crystal Ann Morales. Nicholas Theodore Baronsky. Garrett Michael Cox. Carissa Gabrielle Sorto, magna cum laude. Trinita Lumengo Calacuta. Giovanni Anselmo Benitez. Kel Devin Waddell. Jose Emmanuel Sanchez Guevara. Hui Tien T. Nguyen. Erickson Arturo Lopez. Karina Victoria Ramirez, magna cum laude. Pablo Adbil Mota. Sarah Elizabeth Crow. Atalia Elizabeth Dominguez Diaz. Dalia Denova. Joey Lee Boatwright. Brian Matthew Warner, magna cum laude. Cesar Alejandro Gutierrez. John Thomas Murphy. Haley Danielle Jones. Shezab Imam. Keith Christopher McLean. Fu Min Nguyen, cum laude. Chase Jordan Ridley. Nadine Marina, cum laude. Amanda Wilkerson, cum laude. Jordan Edward Edgerson. Hannah Elizabeth Blumen. Johns Quintanilla Azabamba. Luis Martinez. Reginald Terrell Singleton. Yakuba Konate. Joel Muyej, magna cum laude. Shaquille O'Neal Graham. Krishna Clark, cum laude. Carlos David de la Rosa. Hunter Randall Haynes, cum laude. Nicole Alexis Cook. Manissa Bradbury. Courtney Elizabeth Cothran. Matisha Robinson. Mariam Ishai. Rachel Amoy Forbes. Shanika L'Oreal Douglas. William Boone Holman. Keziah Elizabeth Dixon. William David Brito, cum laude. Luis Alejandro Rubio Gomez, summa cum laude. Kelvin Lindrell Walker. Jason Alfonso Ortiz. Elena Tui Lee. Craig Alexander Phillips. James David Broom. Tricia K. Williams. Tony Caseen Gladden. Ilona Moros, cum laude. Aaliyah Tyler Brevard. Destry Lee Despain. Christy Kelly. Claudia Liliana Herrera Venegas, cum laude. Abraham Patricio. Lone Thi Kim Win. Eno Faith Ataga. Brenda Van Lay, cum laude. Ruby Mondragon. Omar Rubio. Ivan Hilario Barinas. Jairo Chansey. Jennifer Jadira Padilla. Olga Lorena Boizo Patino. Pentia Mary Bell Sinami Nansunu. Svafarson Fernand Athelo. Vernethia Monique Brooks. Christine Seaton, magna cum laude. Nathan Edward Manders, summa cum laude.
Samuel Johan Tavera.
Marilyn Margaret Simkovich, cum laude. Brendan Alexander Senecal. Marian Aranza Zavaleta Morga. Caridad Monet Robinson. Madai Guadalupe Zavaleta Morga, magna cum laude. Mikias Debizet. Samuel Karcha. Jonathan Prokopoi, cum laude. Uniqua Forbes. Karina Janet Santos, cum laude. Kyle James Kanai. Giselle Morales, cum laude. Fabian Mahota Olayemi Cole, Jr. Cameron Ariel Carr. Brianna Alexia Graham. Kaylee Nicole Smith, cum laude. Hannah Nicole Toe, cum laude. Lucila Hernandez Cruz, cum laude. Madeline Jacobs Farrell. Revian Davenport. Kiara Lachey Howard. Ricardo Perez Jr. Madeline Phon Yangnavong. Brandon Tackett. Johan Romeo Tobar. Anitra L. Willingham. Alexander Van Wyn. Rina Murad. Benjamin Rodriguez, cum laude. Shakira Laquise Plant. Michael Chacon. Jasmine T. Walker. Benjamin Joseph Liena. July C. Enel. Kendra Daniela Barquero. Mina Lee Kinjo. Logan Mitchell Hinson, magna cum laude. Joshua Richard Feely. Caroline Frances Steinacher. Giovanna Marcella Martinez Muriel. Sarah Hope Gwinnett. Edita Douglad. Samia Kulo. Brianna Desiree Manzan. Matthew Joel Rodriguez. Christopher James McFarland. Elihu Fabricio Munoz, summa cum laude. Adolfo Escalera Valenzuela. Meldisa Bojic. Alice Ann Derniad. Teodora Zhivkova Betancourt, summa cum laude. Delaney Sarah Young. Heather Vu. Marisa Justine Chegeretti. Anna Lisbeth Areola Sanchez, cum laude. Aaliyah Mencia. Yulissa Vargas Vaca. Freshta Mohibi. Sania Tarek. Sharon Medina. Cheyenne Talani Williams Osborne, cum laude. Khadidra Jasmine Staten. Jade Denise Johnson. Jalen Rashawn Lawton. Tyreek Rashad Warren. Jakari Dominique Bilal Howell. Dylan Matthew Bob. Nialasha Her. Kevin View Xiang Jr. Devin Davis. Jackson Kent Young Weiss. Hung Chao T. Nguyen. Andres Felipe Rios, magna cum laude. David Matthew Morgan.
As your name is called, to be greeted by Dean Bernard Oliver.
Fred Anderson IV, magna cum laude. Jessica Liliana Ridgway, cum laude. Brendan Burns. Kayla Gabriela Cruz, magna cum laude. Darlene Diaz, summa cum laude. Ankuta Kusafshi, cum laude. Bernice Sam. Kenya Ashley Knowles. Sarah D. Brinson, cum laude. Joel Nkulu Kayangu. Joseph Drew Davis, cum laude. Lauren Kayla McMichael, cum laude. Tizetta Haile Miriam Rustin, cum laude. Wen Marie Figueroa, cum laude. Jonathan Douglas Baxter. Harrison James Tobin. Christina Yvette Behan. Rebecca Elaine Ray. Carissa Brenna Meek, cum laude. Jacob Elijah Vandervelde, cum laude. Sarah Catherine Wellwood. Alacia Marie Womble, cum laude. J. Scott Nimps. Karina Julia Angelescu. Rahama Ismail Abdul Kadir, cum laude. Janae S. Bonswell. Sarah Imran Khan. Joshua Ryan Kreisel. Samantha Nicole West. Jessica Caroline Wells, cum laude. Kristen Ann Reagan. Stephanie Naomi Rosales. Charlotte Anna Caroline Reams, summa cum laude. Yasmin Azel Cooper, magna cum laude. Cabria Janae Holloman. Ariana Lopez. John Matthew Higgins. Timothy Daniel Davis Jr., summa cum laude. Deidra Nakila Barnett. Ajane Naisha Narcisse.
Mariana Green.
Cassandra Mauricia Richmond, cum laude. Christine Orbianuju Eze, cum laude. Hajir Wissam Alabasi. Michelle Sharon Bilkiwis, cum laude. Angel Marilyn Doe. Deborah Lindsay, magna cum laude. Evelyn Lemus. Gabriela Montes Gomez. Chriselle Mara. Deborah Beatrice Renderos. Colin Colbert. Jose Orozco, cum laude. Lauren Elizabeth Parker. William Mitchell Good, summa cum laude. Jonathan Bell. Sabrina Marie Hunt. Kelly Margaret Egan, magna cum laude. Markia Slater. Lisa Marie Pelletier, summa cum laude. Kimberly Renee Berzon. Yafit Ortiz Munoz, magna cum laude. Luke Philip Dabeck. Sydney Taylor Jones, magna cum laude. Madeline Margaret Gill. Elena Marie Tate, summa cum laude. Adacia Plunkett. Katie Vong Kumchun. Ryan Austin Norsworthy I. Jason Adam Tui. Mirella Dantu, cum laude. Rachel C. Lentz. Blaine Mary Cleesrath. Jordan Elise White, summa cum laude.
Patricia Stamer.
Kira Raven Olin, summa cum laude. Yana Elizabeth Reynolds. Angela Rochelle Unger, cum laude. Brianna Marie Boyd. Laurie Ann Hicks, summa cum laude. Alyssa Mae Blair. Alicia M. Savage. Vivian Gaither, magna cum laude. Nicolene Natalia Wilson. Cassianne Cecilia Sukai, magna cum laude. Leslie Guadalupe Serrano Lorenzo. Eric Randall Johns. Diana Lara Jarquin, summa cum laude. Janique Ashley Tony Ann Murray. Harrison Reed Miller. Monet Chantel Chapman, cum laude. Andrew Sterling Hawkins. Arlette Silva. Ashley Mukarajes, cum laude. Eliza Quintero Leslie, magna cum laude. Chelsea Camille Cochran I. Naya Weichel Price. Claudia Rossetto. Joshua Richard Roddermacher. Inara Shafiq Jawani, cum laude. Myra Yaboa Kairama. Patricia Ann Watkins. Christina Coffey, cum laude. Shantae Sibone Bryant. Christopher Devon Ingram. Iman Renette Hazel, cum laude. Carl Patrick Mills, Jr. Beatrix Bedora Owusu Ansa, cum laude. Marcus Andrew O'Rear. Ariana Kamili Bustillo Castro. Sean Paul Gardner. Medina Levitch, cum laude. Kyla Amber Collins. Emily Kaufman. Benjamin Owen Dillingham, cum laude. Luis Antonio Montanes Serna. Miranda Opal Williams. Escar Roberto Hernandez Lopez. Kalila Graham. Gabrielle Elise Brown. Jalen Lamont Ely, cum laude. Philip David Benfield III, magna cum laude. Jacelyn Andia Thompson. Yi Ong Min Nguyen, summa cum laude. Patrick Daniel Cheek, cum laude. Kristen Marie Paganini. Rachel Etienne. Joshua Ray Minor. Denise Norton. Griselda Garcia Aslami. Lillian Rainey Parham. Lennox A.P. Smith. Corrine Paul. Catherine Z. Perez Ramos. Donovan Gonzalez. Miguel Salgado. Bryce Alexander Novak, cum laude. Maria Natalie Bugarin. Marissa Lynn Meeks, summa cum laude. Liana Estefani Martinez, cum laude. Abby Lee Moore. Tiffany Marie Britton. Ayotorimide Kikioyin Ario. Erica Lindsay. Ternicia Latrice Philpott. Rafaela Simonette Carcamo. Daniela Dominguez, magna cum laude. Alondra Torres Herrera.
Callie Stone.
Nashi Monique Johnson. Chelsea V. Dew. Jasmine Nicole Jefferson. Ashley Sherelle Pulliam. Daniel Ross Martin, cum laude. Danielle Bridget Ponder. Fabiola Berenice Alvarado Perez. Ibaronki Olabisi Osanoo. Celine Ivory Ellis. Destiny Lorraine Babb. Corey Galen Ford. Marcos Antonio Andrade II. Yetta Knight. Latessa Louise Taylor. Andrew Thomas Waldrop. Isaiah J. Legs. Nan Tran Quach. Zhao Min Wen. Summa cum laude. Emmeline Rose Priger. Cyron Omari Robinson. Quentin Alexander Lockie, cum laude. Deontay Marquise Biddings I, cum laude. Morgan Corinne George. Ronald Lee White, cum laude. Proctor Swade Owens. Shiley Guadalupe Nieves. Leslie Amaris Orduño, cum laude. Clarissa Maribel Landaverdi, magna cum laude. Esperanza Delia Lopez. Austin Russell Hollock. Naya Ross, cum laude. Madeline Lee Foss, cum laude. Asfar M. Danani, summa cum laude. Jordan Eric Pullins. Leslie Valeria Delaguila. Waleed Abdulrahman Adish. Christopher Quentin Jones. Courtney Talia Ford. Madison McKay Rourke. Jade Louisa Carvalho Wong, summa cum laude. Stephanie Martinez. Griffin Keith Llewellyn. Adriana Danae Miller, cum laude. Brianna D. Taylor. Juwan William Merritt. Sandy Fan, cum laude. Catherine Zoe Coram, cum laude. April Rihanna Fowler. Omer David Ahmed. Giselle Puebla. Paula A. Contreras. Sierra Von Seal Chafin, summa cum laude. Tyler Joseph Donnelly. Parker Lewis Hayes. Alexander Alfredo Rivera, magna cum laude. Lauren Powell Standridge. Muna Ahmed. Tamuna Dipre Emmanuel Ada Wilson. Cynthia S. Cherian, cum laude. Ann Jordan Hathcock. Henry Allen Patterson. Williams Javier Reyes, cum laude. Savannah Sidney Wilkins. Rebecca Villarreal. Emily Quintero Nevares. Monica Macias Esparza, summa cum laude. Tong Vi Nok Lee, cum laude.
Erica Hathaway.
Kisa Brown, cum laude. Brandon Michael C. Joshua Martin Miller. Audrey J. Rubia. Aisha Hissan Saira, magna cum laude. Mofez or Rahman, cum laude. Austin Jacob Matthews. Kayvon Shabani, magna cum laude. Fabio Alejandro Valenzuela, cum laude. Chankrishna Chan, magna cum laude. Maria Brechikov, summa cum laude. Sedina Zamira Huzanovich, cum laude. Hannah Taraki Haju, cum laude. Isaiah D. Mack. Faisal Kateba Badwan.
Joseph Foster.
Christoph A. Ramel, cum laude. Mohammed Sakor, cum laude. Dennis Forcuo, cum laude. Kelly Tiana Hong, magna cum laude. Aaron Daniel Knight. Taylor Elizabeth Marsh, cum laude. Le Huang Gretzel Unabia. Dustin Kofer. Oleg Basilnikov, summa cum laude. Brianna Gabrielle Hickson. Roberto de Jesus Salas Montoya. Ezekiel Oluwatul Biloba Akande. Sabrina Nicole Sieber, magna cum laude. Jacqueline Gimilette Garcia Mendez. Lava Bashar Barwari. Shannon Noel Griffin. Kizito Chukwabuka Nagin, cum laude. Valentina Mascara Reyna, cum laude. Dimitri Patrick Brutus. Maria Tu Cisse. Courtney Michelle Williamson. Vital Y. Mbala. Amy Joella Sengiomva. Hunter Elizabeth Masters. Grace Caitlin Bullock. Peter Jacob Swift, cum laude. Kwang Min Win, magna cum laude. Eric Pantapanya. Robert Zachary Kerr. Edith Maria Bartolon Morales. Alexis Favors. Griselda Bailon. Rubicelia Aquino, magna cum laude. Marthlin Anselm Floresta. Winnie Jane Tony. Tyree Mekai King. Jasmine Kitana Kailila Turner. Walker Levi Rabin the First. Bo Chizang Kang, cum laude. Alexis Campbell. Yamel Morales Munoz.
Logan Simone McKenzie.
Yamilet de los Santos. Michael Thomas Sleeman. Sean Maxwell Hetherington. Sydney Aniel Morgan. Oscar Ramon Romero Jr., cum laude. Adul Scaria Jacob. Thomas Dean Bolick III, cum laude. Sean Chappelle Sr. Nathalie Ruiz Mandujano, cum laude. Ramsha Mona Eliza, summa cum laude. Divya Rachel George, magna cum laude. Sydney Elaine Johnson. Samia Ashraf, cum laude. Allegra Joanna Ngwetshango. Jennifer Aseyi Akakpo, cum laude. James Patton Bennett, summa cum laude. Taisan Khan, summa cum laude. Josue Fernando Guzman. Lindsay Michelle Evans. Williams Nzenwa Anasiki. Daniel Minhaj. Norberto Quiñones II. Milagro de los Ángeles Mejía. Nina Karima Johnson. Lee Casey Gobri JJ. Felix Dobe. Natasha Saheed. Cameron Ross DiCarlo, cum laude. Ebony Gabrielle Pauline McWainson.
Now, we heard lots of cheers and screams for individual graduates, and this is the time when you are getting the chance to come together and join me in a big grizzly congratulations to our fall class of 2021. Let's raise the roof. Joys of this job for me and for so many of the faculty and all the people gathered here is we get a chance to stand up close and see the smiles on the faces. So you can imagine it kind of gets tired standing there, but what keeps me standing is that every student that comes by, the shared joy that goes across their face as they accept that diploma. So we are so happy for them, and we're so grateful for all of you who have supported them. But as our graduates return to their seats today, they were given an alumni pin. And that welcomes them into the GGC alumni. And I ask all of them to continue what they have felt today and to engage actively in our Alumni Association, to keep us abreast and updated on significant events and even small events in your lives going forward. Because now you have joined the ranks of more than 10,000 graduates. And our graduates reside in many countries and 40 states that we know of across the nation. And I would like all of the alumni who are present here today in the audience to please stand so we could recognize you as well. If you're a graduate of GGC and you're here with us today, please stand. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you very much. And the fact that you're here, it meant that you probably sent somebody back to graduate with us. We appreciate you for that. And we just want to keep acknowledging and sharing our Grizzly family joy to each and every one of you as you move beyond these walls today. So now would all of us please stand as Janae Gray and Rose Stetton sing the Georgia Gwinnett Alma Mater. Alma Mater. Please all be seated. Guests and friends, the GGC faculty and the fall graduates will soon begin their recession. Would you please remain seated for the as we move towards the exit, particularly the platform party. We ask that you know how difficult it is. You want to get out and move, but we ask that you please remain seated as we conclude the recessional. And again, on behalf of the GGC graduates, the faculty, the staff, and of course the administration, we are so grateful for all of you for your attendance today. And to our GGC alumni, we wish you every future success. And that concludes our program. Thanks again.